Welcome to English class with teacher Apiceli from SMA Negeri 1 Batam, Provinsi Kepulauan Riau. In this video, I and my beloved students from 11 Science 1 would like to talk you about formal invitation letter of English. After learning these materials, the students are expected to be able to know the social function, the generic structure, and the lexical-grammatical feature of formal invitation letter of English. At the meantime, in this video or after learning this video, the students are expected to be able to make the products in the form of formal invitation letter of English such as video, audio, Canva, and poster product. Please check it out.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi, I'm Taufik and I'm as the director.
Hi, my name is Fatima Terdawarugi and I'm here as a writer. Hi, I'm Jasmindela Adeba and I'm as a host. Hi, my name is Raihana Skazafira and I'm here as a host. Hi, I'm Nadia and I'm here as the host. Hi everyone, my name is Zalina and I am the host.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Zidan Fahri.
And my name is Muhammad Malalisu.
And we are the video editor.
Hi, my name is Faziran Siddiq. I'm as a cameraman.
Hi, my name is Gali Prastia.
And I am Maxwell Surgasul Lembang.
We are here as a facility provider.
Hi guys! Before we start the lesson, we want to ask you something. Do you guys know who is the founder of invitation letter?
Nope.
If you guys don't know, it's okay guys, don't worry because we are going to show you the history of the invitation letter.
Once upon a time, in the 1600s, there was a girl who wanted to get married, but she didn't know how to invite people to come to her wedding. At that time, she finally came up with an idea. That is, by writing the invitation on a paper.
Friends, that was a short video about the history of invitation letter. Now I'm going to explain you more about the theory of the invitation letter. But before we move to the history of formal invitation letter, I want to ask you some questions. What is a formal invitation letter? A formal invitation letter is a letter written to a person or organization to attend your event. The invitation can be for a wedding, graduation, exhibition, business events, and other occasions. For formal purposes, a letter written in formal language. Guys, in this stipulated format, we call it formal invitation. But in contrast, a letter written in a friendly manner to acquaintance, we know it's called a formal letter. It all started in the year of 1400s, where the invitations were given orally by getting into the roofs of the host houses and communicating till the ears spot reached. In the Middle Ages, the process of invitation was done as a town crier, who would simply announce the wedding in the square, and whoever was in earshot was essentially invited to the celebration. The era beginning with the 1600s saw a remarkable growth in the announcement of weddings using paper. The invention of the metal plate engraving in 1642 opened up the world of specific wedding invitations. The texts were reverse engraved onto a metal plate and stamped on the paper to get the print impression. The history of wedding invitations transformed the turn of the 18th century, when reading and writing was a sign of education. The 18th century marked the beginning of the social etiquette of sending invitation, but this was limited to the elite class only as the access to the formal education to read and write was limited only to them. The invite was often closed with a waxed seal of the family crest, which is another sign of the status of the invite families. Calligraphy was mainly used for invitation as it was considered a royal gesture, where the style of printing used the calligraphy. The method used in addition was the letterpress printing concept. Letterpress printing is a type of printing done by ink type, or an engraving and pressing that form into the paper, which is done by using a letterpress. A layer of tissue paper was always used with the letterpress invite as the ink would not always dry quickly and may run or smudge. Then the invite and tissue paper layer would be placed inside a pristine envelope, and after that, they will be placed inside another larger one. The late 1800s saw the invention of the lithography. This was involved using chemicals to make images, producing a very crisp and having faster result. The invitations were typically delivered by hand or horseback due to the unreliability of the postal service during those days, so a double envelope is used to protect the contents. Lithography, also known as the offset printing, is said to be an ink impression, which is made from a plate to a rubber stamp-like surface, which is then transferred to the paper. This is process facility mass production, and as a result, more common people got the opportunity to print wedding invitations.
Guys, Hannah already explained to you all about the history of invitation letters up to 1800. Now I will explain to you the continuation, which is in the 18th century. The latter part of the 18th century witnessed the growth in the field of the telegram wedding invitations, which soon became the sensation of the world. It is easy to customize this custom wedding telegram to suit the respectful needs, like change of color of the font, change text, add photo to the backside, and etc. The telegram was considered an ideal invite to send special and personal messages because of its respected text. It was one of the vintage beauties from the entire wedding scene. And now, moving to the 19th century, the wedding invitation changed its complete scenario by the invention of photothermography. In the photothermography, heat is used to create raised letters. The process provided everyone with a fantastic way to duplicate the mesmerizing effects of metal engraving. It provided a beautiful way for providing the valuable content of the invitation. Adding to the early 1950s, the comic style, also known as the retro style, was introduced for invites which attracted the audience. It was influenced more from the sentimentalism. During the 19th century, the growth was tremendous with new ideas and introducing the photothermography was also a great help to the invitations. Adding, most wedding invitations began to be printed. This way, though some were still handcraft, invitations were mailed 2 weeks before the wedding, in double envelopes. The 20th century marked the era of colorful invitations. The font became more fashion and the colors became bright. Initially, the designs and contents were decided by the family that was, but now it was the printing press that became a great player in decision making. Now, when we talk about the modern times, a lot of changes have taken place in terms of creativity, varieties, and designs. New styles like the laser cuts and pastel designs are some of the most preferred designs of the current era. More often, the invites are designed in such a color that it matches the general color theme of the wedding. The current scenario has seen a surge in the popularity of customized invite and more recently the electronic or digital invite. The continuous upgrades in the technology is bringing in more upgradation in the wedding invitation. The wedding invitation designs keep changing in pace with time. Well, Jasmine and Hannah already explained you about the history of formal invitation letter. Now I will tell you tips for writing a formal invitation letter of English. A formal invitation letter is not very different than a regular letter, except for several details. Let's look at the basic step of writing a formal invitation letter. First is write the subject line. The primary object or essence of the letter should be clearly stated in the subject line. For instance, we can write to invite the most valued business associated to the anniversary celebration of corporation. For example, the subject line could look like invitation for the anniversary celebration of Genesis Corporation. Second, add your letterhead. Adding our company letterhead at the top of the letter is important in writing a formal invitation. This is to impart a positive impression of the person you have invited to the event. In a professional sense, the letterhead helps to maintain your company reputation and are just as important as the brand. Third, mention the sender's address. The sender's address is the first information you should include after adding your letterhead. This is only true for an invitation letter. Fourth, write the date. After we add the sender's address, the next thing to mention is the date for sending invitation. The date could be in any format you like, such as date, month, year, or month, date. Next, fifth is mention the recipient's address. We write the recipient name and address clearly to avoid any confusion later on. The letter should clearly state who invitation is for. 6. Include the celebration. Guys, when you write a formal invitation letter, make sure to start your letter with an appropriate celebration. You can begin with writing "Dear Sir or Madam" in case you don't know the recipient's name. However, if you know who you're inviting to, include their first name or last name with the greeting. For example, you want to write a formal invitation for your business friend, and you know his name. You should use Dear Muhammad Taufik because you know his name. Don't forget to put comma at the end of the celebration and skip on. It's always best if you can find the full name of the recipients you are writing the letter to. 7. Write the main body of the letter. Make sure you start the invitation letter with a polite and inviting text. For instance, we're pleased to invite you. Or we can use "It would be a pleasure for us if you could," and another. This statement at the start of the letter show your affection and delight in inviting someone to the event involved. After you have done it, state the event proposed in the opening paragraph. Mention important details like date, time, and location. This information should be readily available at the start of the letter. You must explain the goal of the event and request a reply. Guys, Nadia already explained to you about tips to write a formal invitation letter. But there are 2 tips left that I will explain to you. The 8 tips include the closing and signature. You should conclude the letter by expressing your gratitude to the recipient for taking the time to read your invitation. If you want the confirmation of their presence, mention deadline by which you accept them to confirm. And finally, write your contact details. And if you are writing on behalf of a business corporation, include your designation. And the last tips, 9, is proofread your letter. Before you send your letter out, proofread it. Ensure that there are no jargon words, colloquial language, or sentence fragments. There should be no punctuation, grammar, or spelling errors in your writing since it's a formal invitation. That was about 9 tips to write a formal invitation letter. Now, come back with me. I will tell you about social function of formal invitation letter. An invite is not just a request, but also a solicitation to get another person to enter your area. There are many reasons why you should establish an invitation letter when inviting someone to an event. But the most important reason is to express your interest in the occasion and your sincere hope that the guest will attend. Now, we're going to generate structure of formal invitation letter of English. First, a formal invitation letter is written to an honoree, so it should contain proper information about the venue, date, etc. of the event. Second, usage of standard phrase. For example, requesting the pleasure of your company, requesting your gracious attendance is advised. Third, the purpose of invitation should be clear. Fourth, the name of honoree must be mentioned. 5. The event date and time must be written in letters. Don't use abbreviations. 6. Venue name and venue's full address are important. Make sure you don't forget this part when write a formal invitation letter. 7. Add RSVP, reply if you like it. This elegant abbreviation is a French phrase divided from Répondez de la folklore, means answer me in English. RSVP is essential for any party where you need to know exactly who is coming, so you can organize things according to your convenience. 8. The host phone or mobile number or address needs to be mentioned, so that the receiver can contact the host in any case. And last, other relevant details should be added. Now, we're going to language features of formal invitation letter of English. First, the invitation should be written in third person and not in first or second person. This is the table of personal pronouns. Remember, we only use pronoun in third person. Next, we use simple present tense in formal invitation letter. Third, we should use a polite and courteous tone in formal invitation letter. Fourth, we use single sentence presentation. A simple sentence is an independent clause that conveys a single, complete thought. Fifth, no signatures required. You don't need a signature, we just write our name without signature. Sixth, dates must be written in letters and you should not use abbreviation. However, date of writing must not be mentioned. Next, 7. We ought to explain what the party or event is being held, such as to celebrate or to honor. 8. Length as per CBSE's guidelines is limited to 50 words. 9. It was generally enclosed in a box, like you put letter in an envelope sealed on all sides. Last, 10. The language should answer to the 5 W questions, such as what, answer the occasion, where, answer the venue, and when, answer date and time, and who, answer name of the host. Okay guys, we have learned about history, definition, tips, and social function, and language features of formal invitation letter of English. Now, we will give you an example of formal invitation letter and analyze it. And now I will give you guys the other example of the invitation letter. Kalibata City, Apartment Tower, Commerce Anita, Jakarta Selatan, 110806. June 15, 2020, to Mr. Kiano Sulistyo as a sales supervisor from Royal Care Limited. at Jalan Mawar number 9, RT09/10, Pancoran, South Jakarta, 240971. Dear Mr. Marianto, we would like to invite you to attend the Dear Mr. Marianto, we would like to invite you to attend the inauguration of our business. Dear Mr. Celestio Kino, we would like to invite you to attend the inauguration of our business located at Kalibata City Square on August 20, 2020 at 10 a.m. It is our honor to have you as our loyal customer in our business. We are hoping that we will get the same support from you. We have been in this business for quite some time now, yet we have always managed to stay on top of our competitors. This would not be possible if not with your support to our business. We have prepared something for you about We have prepared something for you as our patron as we have prepared something for you as our patrons as a way of saying thank you. Please come early so that we can find a comfortable seat for you and so that you will be there as we acknowledge our loyal customers and you are definitely in the list. Please let us know if you are attending the site event or not by on August 10, 2020. Sincerely yours, signature by Adam Nugraha as a General Manager at City Service Corporation.
Now, I will give an example of invitation letter. Springdale's Public School, Jurgen, September 25, 2021. SHES Betty, 2/27, Yorbat, New Delhi. Dear Mr. Betty, our school is holding an inter-school T20 cricket championship from 2 October to 8 October 2021. All the schools of the area are likely to participate. Your presence in our midst will act as a catalyst in inspiration. We cordially invite you to inaugurate the championship on 2 October 2021 at 10 a.m. in our school ground. Kindly confirm your availability by 30 September. We are looking forward to having you in our inauguration. Yours sincerely, Section Basal, Head Boy.
Since Naila already gave one of the examples, I will analyze the example of an invitation letter. First, I'm going to talk about the topic of the letter, which is invitation to attend the inauguration of the company, the relationship between the sender and the recipient, business partner to keep a good relationship in a formal context between Adam Nugraha and his customer, Mr. Marianto. Moving on, there's part of the letter and function of the part, like sender's address is the name of the building or city or email apartment, which is Kalibata City, Hebras, Jakarta Selatan Tower. Recipient address, there's the name of recipient, Mr. Marianto, position as a sales supervisor, the name of the company is Royal Crown Ltd, and the name of the street and city is Jalan Mawar, number 8 or number 6 or number 10, Pancoran, Jakarta Selatan. Next, there's a solution or greeting. That is the word or phrase like, Dear Mr. Marianto. Next to the first paragraph, first is main idea. The writer would like to invite their business partners to the inauguration of their business because of their loyalty. And next, we have details like the purpose of the writing. If we would like to invite you to attend the inauguration of our business. And then there's the detail of the event, like we would like to invite you to attend the inauguration of our business located at Kalibata City Square on January 8, 2019 at 10 a.m. And then there's the writer's hope, which is we are hoping that we will get the same support from you. And then there's the writer's promise, like we have prepared something for you as our patrons. And then there's the second paragraph main idea, which is the writer hopes the recipient confirm for his coming and present at the event. And then there's a detail, like the confirmation of the date, which is please let us know if you are attending the same event or not by January 2, 2019. Hope, like hoping for your presence on that day. We are looking forward to more fruitful business deals with you. And the last one is closing, which is using words or phrases like sincerely yours. That's all from me. Thank you.
Me, Hannah, Jasmine, and Nadia have explained the theory starting from the definition, history, tips, structure, language features, and sample letters along with their analysis. And now we have entered the final theory, that is, the difference in the use of the word in British and American letters. Opening greetings in UK and US letters. The major opening greetings are basically the same in British and American letters. The most common differences have to do with punctuation. In American English, you need a point after abbreviated titles, as well as the comma or no punctuation that are used after and opening greetings in both. Americans sometimes use a colon after the opening greeting, which is rare in the UK. In a similar way, both Americans and British tend to use dear sir or madam when you don't know someone's name, but Americans sometimes use the more traditional forms like dear sir or dear sirs, which are generally considered too old-fashioned or even sexist in the UK. Next, the body of UK and US letters. Theoretically, almost any difference between British and American English could come up in the body of the letter, depending on the topic or function. This section deals with some of the more common functions for emails, invitation letter, namely request, making arrangements, apologizing, giving instructions, job applications, and checking progress. Please note that neither of these are reasons why we use these forms, but simply ways of making them easier to remember. So this is the list of difference between British and American letters.
Okay, this is the end of our video about file.
Invitation letter of English.
Thank you so much for watching.
Bye.
Hello, people, and what is up, guys? Hopefully, all of us are doing great, and I also hope we have a great day today, tomorrow, or basically every day. During the next few minutes, I'm Yiska, who airs this podcast, will accompany you to be more passionate and knowledgeable. Now, in this podcast, we'll be talking about formal invitation letter, so make sure to stay until the end of this podcast. Everything will be summarized here. Oh, and I also need to mention that I am not alone in this podcast. I'm here with my amazing friends. There are 12 of us, which is actually slightly more than enough to create a soccer team. Well, without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to my friends. First of all, there is me, Giska, as the moderator. Then we have Anissa, Gazi, Grace, Helena, Iqbal, Nada, Nadia, Naufal, Roy, Shirley, and Zet. All of them will be delivering different materials under the same topic, and I'm sure it's going to be really helpful and interesting. So make sure to stay and pay attention to them until the end. Okay, I think I've talked too much. Now let's just head to the first person that's going to explain this topic. Oh look, we have Nada here. How is it going?
Great, it's going really great. How about you, Giska?
I'm doing pretty fine as well, Nada. Thank you so much for asking. And now I'm curious about what you're going to explain to us in this topic. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, of course. So I'm going to explain about the social functions and theories of invitation letter.
That sounds really interesting. Alright, tell us more about it.
Okay, I'll be needing a few minutes though.
That is perfectly fine. Take as much time as you need.
Okay, thank you, Giska. So I'll start with the definition of invitation letter itself. What is it? What is invitation letter? Well, invitation letter is a type of letter written to an organization or an individual for the participation or presence in an event or an occasion. And the main purpose of writing invitation letters is to coordinate the number of guests coming a few days before the date of the event. An invitation letter helps those handle the event better as they can make arrangements accordingly. Essentially, there are two types of invitation letters. They are formal and informal. So the first one, formal invitation letters, they are written for formal events like graduation ceremonies, business events, or parties. On the flip side, informal invitation letters are written to friends or family for events like dinner, parties, or get-togethers. Now, moving on to the history of invitation letters, it all began around 2000 BC in Egypt. At first, letters contained government documents which were usually sent from one place to another by horse or carriage. While on the contrary, in the year 1400s, invitations in England were typically announced by means of a town crier. It's basically a man who would walk through the street, announcing in a loud voice the news of the day. Traditionally, anyone within earshot became part of the celebration. In the Middle Ages, illiteracy was widespread among common people, so the practice of sending written invitations emerged among the nobility. Families of means would commission monks skilled in the art of calligraphy to handcraft their notices. And then, in 1642, the invention of metal plate engraving by Ludwig van Siegen brought higher quality invitations within the reach of the emerging middle class. The resulting engraved invitations were protected from smudging by a sheet of tissue paper placed on top, which is a tradition that remains to this day. Later on, the late 1800s saw the invention of lithography by Alois Senefelder. Lithography, or also known as the offset printing, is said to be an ink impression which is made from a plate to a rubber stamp-like surface which is then transferred to the paper. This process facilitated mass production, and as a result, more common people got the opportunity to print invitations. And now, moving to the 1900s, the invitations changed its complete scenario by the invention of photothermography. Thermography is a printing process that produces raised letters on a sheet of paper without any etching or engraving. It made invitations very affordable for everyone. Furthermore, this process also provided a beautiful way for providing the valuable content of the invitation. And as you can guess, the continuous upgrades in the technology is bringing in more enhancement in the invitations. Over the past few years, laser technology has made progress and uniqueness in the invitation market, which makes the setting up and ordering invitations easy. You can even now buy invitations from either a catalog or the internet.
Okay, that's really great. Are you done?
Yep, I'm done.
Oh, wow, that is a really detailed explanation. I really like it.
Oh, you think so? That's good. Thanks a lot.
Not a problem. I just feel like you've told us everything we need to know, and it's really awesome.
Hi, are you doing too much?
No, I'm not. I'm just telling the truth. Anyway, Nada, it's really nice talking to you, but I have to head to the other person since we still have a lot of stuff to explain.
Okay, it's really nice to talk to you. I guess we'll talk later then.
Oh, we surely will. Now let me check my list. Turns out coming up next we have characteristics of the invitation letter. I wonder who's going to explain about this.
Everyone, I'm the one who's going to explain about this.
That's great, but who are you though? Can you introduce yourself to us?
Oh, that's so rude of me. I'm sorry. Hi, my name is Helena and I'm going to deliver this material.
Ah, So we're going to have another interesting explanation. I personally can't wait to hear it. Go ahead, Helena. Take as much time as you need.
Thanks, Giska. I'm just going to make it quick and simple.
That is really lovely.
Characteristic of the formal letter of invitation. First, it is written in the third person. Second, there is no signature. Third, the address is written at the bottom of the invitation and the date of writing is not given. Fourth, the simple present tense is used. Fifth, the abbreviation RSVP or meaning please reply is put at the bottom. Sixth, the layout of the letter is such that each of the following is in a separate line. A. The names given in the invitation. B. The standard expression request the pleasure of the company. C. The reason for the invitation. And D. The time and the date of the event.
Okay, is there something you want to add on?
Yeah, there's another characteristic of the ordinary or informal letter of the invitation. First, it is written in the first person. Second, there is no inside address. Third, the salutation is dear post name. And fourth, the complimentary clause is yours sincerely. Fifth, the date of writing is given but the year is omitted. Sixth, the writer address appears in the usual place. Seventh, the various tenses are used to suit the sense. And eighth, the letter does not actually ask for a reply, but the last sentence suggests that a reply is expected.
Okay, now I understand. Do you guys copy that? You better write this up. This could be really important. Anyway, Helena, where did you get this explanation? I mean, did you analyze the text by yourself or...
No, I'm not really good at it. I didn't really analyze. I'm just checking if the website has given me the right lesson.
What do you mean by that actually?
I mean, after I read some of the websites, I searched for invitation letter in Google and I check if the website has given me the right information.
I see. That's a good way to learn. You guys should do it that way too. And Helena, thank you so much for your explanation. We really appreciate it.
Thank you too.
Right, next we have Zed here, and she's going to explain about the language rules. Hi, Zed.
Hi, Giska.
Yes, hi. Wait, I couldn't help but notice. Is that your real name? Because honestly, it sounds really cool.
No, not really. It's my nickname, but still based on my real name.
I see. Well, we're loving your nickname here. And to save time, because we still have plenty of explanations coming, I'll be needing you to explain about the language rules now. Are you ready?
Definitely.
Awesome. Go ahead.
Language rules. Language is communication by means of speaking, writing, or signing with our hands, and is based on a system of symbols. Language is greatly varied throughout the world, but all languages share a common set of rules. To keep them in order, the 5 rule system of language are explained below. We can think of language as an iceberg. We see only the tip of the ice, but there is much more below the surface. 5 rule system. Morphology. The second rule system of language is morphology, the system of how words are formed or not formed in a language. To understand morphology, we must know that a morpheme is the most minimal unit of meaning in a language. It is this unit that work together to create meaning in our language. Morpheme work together to create meaning in our language. Morpheme also indicate to us context and tense. Some morpheme we as often include prefixes, suffixes, and compound words. Individual language determine what morphemes can be combined to create words and meanings, and have the ability to decide that some combinations do not make sense. Phonology. Despite the varied origins and intrication of language across the globe, they are all comprised of basic sound. The sound system of language is scaled phonology, which includes the sound used in the language and how they can be combined. For example, some sounds appear in Mandarin Chinese that do not appear in English and vice versa. Phonology can be broken down further into units known as phonemes. The basic unit of sound is a language. An example of a phoneme is the sound K or S in the in the C in cat, or the key in ski. When we talk of language rule system of semantics, we are referring to the actual meaning of the words and sentence we are communicating. Each other in each of the language has meaning associated with it, and the meaning determine how the word is used when communicated. Words can also have more than one semantic meanings. As with the words man and boy, both words denote the same gender of a person, and probably a few odd-wear appearance. However, there are also semantic differences between the two words, including age. Pragmatics, the fifth and final rule system of language, is the use of pragmatics. The other rule system teach us how to create meaning through the use phonemes, morphemes, word order, and word meaning. Pragmatic take use a step further to adjust our language to fit certain social context in our culture. Pragmatics go beyond the basic of communication and into the complex realm, consciously tailoring our communication to the people we are communicating with, using figurative language and using idioms. An example of using pragmatics in our everyday communication is consequently formalizing our greeting and small talk when we approach our supervisor at work, compared with the informal speech to reserve for our co-workers. Syntax. If we know that grammar, then we are comfortably familiar with syntax, the rules of grammar in determining word order. Word placements and word communication are threshold in the language rules of syntax. For example, we would not state the text box really I did. A syntax tells you that the text box was not the object reading, and the straightening out or word order will give the use proper meaning in then. Proper syntax does vary from language to language, however, and learn of other language often have their work cut out for them learning a new rule of syntax.
Okay, you guys better write that up as well. We're going to need this one day if we're going to make an invitation letter. Anyway, thank you so much for your explanation, Zed.
You're welcome, but thank you as well for giving me the opportunity to explain about this here.
That is no big deal. We love to hear it. It's great talking to you, Zed, but we have to keep going to the next topic.
Understandable. Talk to you all next time.
Yes, talk to you next time. Well, we've been talking a lot about invitation letter. I think it's time to make it more specialized. Now we're going to talk about formal invitation. What is actually a formal invitation? But don't worry though, because we're lucky. We have Anissa to explain about this. Hello, Anissa.
Hi, Kiska.
Are you ready to explain what a formal invitation is?
I'm almost ready.
Oh, loving the spirit. Okay, then go ahead.
I may just take a while. I don't want it to be boring.
I mean, I can agree with them. We don't want this podcast to be boring part. So go ahead, Anissa. Tell us what we need to know.
Alright, now we'll discuss what is a formal invitation. Formal invitation or official invitation are invitations that are usually made or issued by a person, company, or agency. This formal invitation does not have to be in a very formal form, like a letter or other most important official letters. However, this formal invitation can be made in the usual form without having to leave the formal impression of an official invitation. Rules and grammatical rules such as the intent and purpose of the invitation, standard language, the content of the letter which must be effective and clear, and made according to the needs.
Alright, Anissa, I must say this. You explained it really well. You didn't need much time, but yet you've told us everything we need to know. That's awesome.
I know, right? That's called work smart.
Well, I bet it is. Oh, and I should be moving. We don't want this podcast to be boring, do we? Thank you so much, Anissa. It's great to have this discussion with you.
You're welcome, Giska.
Okay. Alright, next on we have structure of formal invitation, and I believe Nadia is the one who's going to explain about this.
Correct. I am indeed going to explain about this.
Alright, looking so ready to explain. That's great. Do you mind explaining it now?
Of course, why not? I am ready whenever you are.
Oh, well, we surely are ready now, so I guess you can start.
Alright, so for structure of formal invitation, the first one we got invitee. It means about who was invited. If those who are invited are important people, then the formal invitation is the right choice to use. The second one we got body of invitation. It usually contains about occasion, day and date, time, and place. Occasion is containing about the name of the upcoming event. Day and date is containing about the day and date of the event. Time is containing about the specified event execution time, and place is containing about a place that has been provided for invited guests. And the last one we got inviter. This means about who invited or the host who owns the event. Well, I'm done. Those are it.
Oh, okay. Again, guys, don't forget to write this up because this is an important lesson too. Who knows if we need this in the future, right?
I agree. You guys better write those up because I've spent a lot of time working on it.
See, this is what I mean. We have to appreciate their efforts by actually paying attention. Anyway, thanks a lot, Nadia. I'll make sure these guys write what you've told us.
That's more like it. Thank you too.
Please getting bored? Hang on a little bit, will you? Because honestly, we're pretty close to the end of this podcast. Now, to make it quicker, next we have Grace and Shirley who will tell us about steps and tips in writing invitation letter. What's up, Grace and Shirley?
Not much, actually. Just ready and excited to tell you guys about this step and tips.
Yeah, can we share them now?
I mean, if you guys are so excited, then why not?
Thanks, Giska. Well, here are some steps and tips in writing invitation letter. I'm going to explain the step and format involved in the process of writing invitation letters. Step 1. Write the subject line if you are sending emails. Your subject line should contain the essence of your letter. For instance, if you need to invite the parents of the graduating batch of your high school, your subject line should look something like invitation for the graduation ceremony of class of 2022. Step 2. Add your letterhead. This step is a must when you are writing a formal invitation. You just need to add your organization letterhead at the very top of the letter. Letterhead symbolize the prestige of your organization in a personal light. Step 3. Mention the sender's address. The first thing that you need to mention right after adding your letterhead, only in case of formal invitation letters, is the sender's address. This is also an extremely crucial step because this is the address where the guests will send in their RSVPs. Step 4. Write the date. After mentioning the sender's address, you need to mention date of sending out the invitation. You can mention the date in any format that you like, 12/07/2020 or 7th December 2020 or December 7, 2020. Step 5. Mention the recipient's address. The next step is to mention the recipient's address along with writing their name. This step ensures that the recipient can be sure that it's them who's been invited to the event. We're just kidding, obviously. Step 6. Include the salutation. Always begin your letter with a greeting. You may write, "Dear Madam" or "Sir" if you do not know the recipient's name. If you do know the name of the recipient, write down their first and last name and add a salutation in front of it. For example, "Dear Elizabeth Brown." End the salutation with a comma and skip a line. You must always try to find out the full name of the individual that you're sending the letter to. Step 7. Write the main body of the letter. You should always start your invitation letter with phrases like, "We're pleased to welcome you," blah blah blah, and "Our organization will be venerate to welcome you as a guest." Writing phrases like this at the beginning of the letter demonstrates your respect and happiness toward inviting an individual to the event.
Yes, just like Shirley just said, I'm the one who is in charge of giving the tips. So here we go. So, There are 4 tips for writing an invitation. I would you like to share. Your invitation should be short, clear, and complete. The following are 4 things you should keep in mind when writing an invitation is number 1. Determine the nature of the occasion. Will it be a formal occasion or casual one? Determining the nature of the occasion will set the tone for your invitation. For example, if the event is a formal one, then the invitation will require a more formal tone. If it is a casual event, then the invitation should be written in a casual tone. Number 2. Make sure all the necessary details about the occasion are included. Check if all the details are stated in your invitation, such as the event, the date, the time, the place, and the attire. Indicate also whether meals or snacks will be served. If you think the location may be hard to find, consider including a location map in your invitation. Number 3. State if a response is required. Indicate RSVP if you need the people you invite to confirm their attendance for the event. This will make it easier for you to know the number of expected guests. Number 4. Provide your invitation. Impressions are important in an invitation, so checking for errors and making the necessary grammar correction is imperative. Aside from correcting grammar, make sure that there are no misplaced punctuation marks or misplaced words.
Alright, Grace and Shirley, thank you so much for sharing some steps and tips to us. I think we can all agree that what they just shared is very helpful. Wait, remember when I said we are nearly done? Well, I'm not lying because we're so close to the end. We only have 2 examples left and the analysis as well. Okay, so for the first example and analysis will be delivered by Roy and Noval. Let me check. Are you guys still here?
Yup, still here.
You're always here.
I mean, same.
Haha, cool. So, Giska, can we start now? The duration is getting pretty long.
Of course. Oh, yeah. Go ahead, you two.
Okay, so Roy will read the example and I will explain my analysis.
Roger that. Permission to read the example, ladies and gentlemen.
Granted.
Erskine NCO 985 Washington Boys ID 83805 555 8800 October 1, 2016 Carmen and Ted Smith 800 Landerland Meridian ID 83642 Dear Mr. and Miss Smith, you are cordially invited to a formal dinner in honor of Samuel Withers on October 21, 2016 at 8 p.m. at the Boys Hilton. Miss Smith, as you are an associate of Mr. Withers, we will like you to speak briefly about his work in the lumber industry. This is possible. Please let me know within the next week. Please note that this is a black tie event, RSFP, with the names of those attending by October 14. Sincerely yours, John Randall II, Chairman Social Committee, IKR SAT. I'm done. Now it's your turn, Noval.
Okay, here I go. So guys, after we heard the first example of formal invitation letter of English, now we will analyze the structure and the vocabularies of the text example before. Okay, let's find out by reading it once again. Erskine's and CO 985 Washington Boys ID 83805 555 8800. Okay guys, this first part is the heading part because this part is the top part and contains the sender's address. Okay, the next is October 1, 2016. The second part obviously is the deadline part. Alright, next, Carmen and Ted Smith 800 Landerland Meridian ID 83642. Guys, this part is the inside address. We can see this part contains the address and recipient's name. Okay, let's continue. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Okay guys, I'm guessing you guys already know about this part. Yes, obviously the salutation. Okay, next again. You are cordially invited to a formal dinner in honor of Samuel Withers on October 21, 2016 at 8 p.m. at the Boys Hilton. Mrs. Smith, as you are an associate of Mr. Withers, we would like you to speak briefly about his work in the lumber industry. If this is possible, please let me know within the next week. Please note that this is a black tie event. RSVP with the names of those attending by October 14. Okay guys, we have come to the core now. This part is the body part. This section is the most important part in the formal invitation letter of English. If we pay attention, this section contains the time, date, and place of event. In addition, this section also consists of requests, requirements, and deadlines at the end. Okay, the next part is Sincerely yours, John Randall to Chairman Social Committee IKR SAT. Alright guys, this is the final part. Yeah, the complimentary close. This part is contents closing and sender's name. And yeah, that's finished guys. Alright, the next is I will analyze some vocabularies in the text before. The first, we get deadline word, which is meaning in Indonesia tenggat waktu. Second, request word, which is meaning in Indonesia permintaan. Third, requirement word, which is meaning persyaratan in Indonesia. Fourth, a black tie event. We can say that as a formal or official event. Or we can say in Indonesia is acara resmi. Fifth, RSVP from French phrase that's mean that responded shall post plate, which meaning please respond, or if we can say in Indonesia, tanggapi jika berkenan. So, those are some explanations me and Roy can explain. Is it clear enough, Giska?
To me, it really is. I'm sure everyone who hears this podcast will think so too.
Okay. Oh, you think so? That's a relief.
No worries, you guys are really good at this.
Thanks, Giska.
As always, it's no problem. Also, thank you, Roy and Norfal, for giving us the fantastic example analysis. Now that we're done with the first example, we'll be heading straight to the second example that will be delivered by Iqbal and Ghazi.
Before you say anything, yes, we are here and we are ready to share what we have discussed.
Yes, example and analyze.
Thanks a lot for explaining. Definitely makes my work easier.
Yeah, you can see how generous we are from this.
For real.
Alright. Thank you so much for your generosity, sir. Now, if you don't mind, please start explaining.
Oh yeah, right. The duration. Let's be quick.
Okay. I'm going to read the second example. Informal invitation letter for a wedding. 22 December 2021, 4897 Golden Flats, Satyanagar 2nd Street, Magoper West, Sinai 6023. Dear Finit, this is to inform you that my son is getting married on the 10th of January 2022 at NMR Conventional Center, Bangalore. The wedding ceremony will begin at 7 a.m. The reception will be held on the same day from 12 p.m. onwards. We wish and hope that you will be able to make it 1 or 2 days in advance. Kindly let us know as soon as possible when you will be reaching so that we could arrange transportation and accommodation facilities for you and your family. Looking forward to hearing from you soon. Kind regards, signature Navin Kumar. Alright, I'm done. Now quick, tell them the analysis.
Okay, we have heard the second example of the formal invitation letter of English. And what we will do next is analyze the structure and vocabularies from the second text. Okay, let's read in parts to find the structure. Informal invitation letter of a wedding. Okay, the first part of the letter is the heading. It contains the purpose of the letter. Now the second part is 22nd December 2021. The second part is the date of the letter. Now the third is 4897 Golden Flats, Satyanagar 2nd Street, Mogaper West, Chennai 600023. Now the third part is the inside address. It shows the address of the recipient or the letter receiver. Now the next part is Dear Vinith. Now this part is the easiest part to analyze. That is the salutation part. Okay, so the next part is this is to inform you that my son is getting married on the 10th of January 2022 at NMR Conventional Center, Bangalore. The wedding ceremony will begin at 7 a.m. The reception will be held on the same day from 12 p.m. onwards. We wish and hope that you will be able to make it 1 or 2 days in advance. Kindly to let us know as soon as possible when you will be reaching so that we could arrange transportation and accommodation facilities for you and your family. Looking forward to hearing from you soon. Now, we have arrived at the body part of the letter. What is contained in the body of the text? It contains all the required and given information and contains persuasion to the recipient. Now, let's continue. Kind regards, signature, Naveen Kumar. And that is the last part of the letter, which is the complimentary clause to show your respect and appreciation for the person who is considering the request in your letter or email. And then there is a signature from the writer. Okay, so that's the structure from the second text. And now we will analyze some of the vocabularies from the text. Okay, so the first one is ceremony words, which means upacara. The second word is arrange, which means menyusun. The third word is reaching, which means mencapai. The fourth one is onwards, which means ke depannya. And the fifth one is signature, which means tanda tangan. Okay, so that's all from us.
Wow, okay, thank you so much, both of you. It's really detailed. How lovely. That is really awesome. Okay, woohoo! We made it to the end of the podcast. It's really great spending time with my friends who have given a lot of great lessons. It's really great to have you all here hearing this podcast too. It means a lot to us if you hear this podcast until the end. Honestly, we would love to accompany you much longer, but sadly, we have to go. I hope this podcast is helpful to you, to us, to everyone who hears this. Definitely hope you can learn something from here. I'm Giska, as the representative of this group, would like to apologize for any shortcomings. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Goodbye and have an awesome day.
Erskine NCO 985 Washington Boys ID 83805 555 8800 October 1, 2016 Carmen and Ted Smith 800 Lenderland Meridian ID 83642 Dear Mr. and Miss Smith, you are cordially invited to a formal dinner in honor of Samuel Withers on October 21, 2016 at 8 p.m. at the Boys Hilton. Miss Smith, as you are an associate of Mr. Withers, we will like you to speak briefly about his work in the lumber industry. This is possible. Please let me know within the next week. Please note that this is a black tie event, RSFP, with the names of those attending by October 14. Sincerely yours, John Randall II, Chairman Social Committee, IKR SAT. I'm done. Now it's your turn, Novel.
Okay, here I go. So guys, after we heard the first example of formal invitation letter of English, now we will analyze the structure and the vocabularies of the text example before. Okay, let's find out by reading it once again. Erskine's and CO 985 Washington Boys ID 83805 555 8800. Okay guys, this first part is the heading part because this part is the top part and contains the sender's address. Okay, the next is October 1, 2016. The second part obviously is the deadline part. Alright, next, Carmen and Ted Smith 800 Lenderland Meridian ID 83642. Guys, this part is the inside address. We can see this part contains the address and recipient's name. Okay, let's continue. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Okay guys, I'm guessing you guys already know about this part. Yes, obviously the salutation. Okay, next again. You're cordially invited to a formal dinner in honor of Samuel Withers on October 21, 2016 at 8 p.m. at the Boys Hilton. Mrs. Smith, as you are an associate of Mr. Withers, we would like you to speak briefly about his work in the lumber industry. If this is possible, please let me know within the next week. Please note that this is a black tie event. RSVP with the names of those attending by October 14. Okay guys, we have come to the core now. This part is the body part. This section is the most important part in the formal invitation letter of English. If we pay attention, this section contains the time, date, and place of event. In addition, this section also consists of requests, requirements, and deadlines at the end. Okay, the next part is Sincerely yours, John Randall II, Chairman, Social Committee, IKR SAT. Alright guys, this is the final part. Yeah, the complimentary close. This part is contents closing and sender's name. And yeah, that's finished guys.
June 15, 2020, Mr. James Steele, a supervisor from Royal Carolina service profession. And now I will give an example of invitation letter. Springdale's Public School, Georgia, September 25, 2021. SHBS Betty, 2/27 Jorbat, New Delhi. Dear Mr. Betty, our school is holding an inter-school T20 cricket championship from 2 October to 8 October 2021. All the schools of the area are likely to participate. Your presence in our midst will act as a catalyst in inspiring us. We cordially invite you to inaugurate the championship on 2 October 2021 at 10 a.m. in our school ground. Kindly confirm your availability by 30 September. We are looking forward to having you in our inauguration. Yours sincerely, Section Besar, Head Boy.
I wear the crown, you take the lead. We're bandits tonight with thick as thieves. Climb to the top of the mountains. We'll race to the rivers and jump in. There's so much more for us to see.